and welcome to the Africa Wiki Women Voices podcast. I am Oluwa Pelumi Tosin Aina, your host and friend. In today's special episode, we are celebrating an African woman and the journey behind our story. If you follow the Wiki Loves Africa photography contest, you may already be familiar with the work and the story of this woman. I will be spotlighting today. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Sally Aima Oyisa, a visual creator whose narrative videos have caught international attention within the Wikimedia ecosystem. Sally, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. Welcome to the
Thank you
Africa
very,
Wiki Women Voices podcast.
thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome. Okay, Sally, tell a listener who is Sally Haima Oyiza?
Okay, well, Sally Imon Oiza is a videographer, a photographer, a creative, and a storyteller. I think I'll call myself that.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm a student. I'm a geographer by profession. I recently just graduated from the University of Ahmadu Bello University. So I'm a geographer, a student, and a photographer.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful storyteller. It's obvious. It's really glaring. It's obvious that you are a storyteller because we've been seeing your work, here and there within the Wikimedia movement, and we are so super proud of you. All right, I'm aware, and I'm glad you also mentioned that you are a geographer and you are okay. I'm not gonna call you a student because you just finished your final year examination from the University of Ahmadu Bello in Nigeria. So congratulations to you, Sally.
Thank
I also
you.
see
Thank
from you
you.
that you have completed your undergraduate studies. Tell me about it.
Well, it's okay. I gained admission in the year 2019, and the course is supposed to be a 4 year course. But due to the
Mm,
African Nigerian factor, the strike, COVID-19, and all of that, we had lots of breaks. So it dragged me to 2025. So my whole journey of my undergraduate year age has been okay, a bumpy ride. And it has a
mm.
lot of story on that. That's like another story for another day. But thank God, geography wasn't what I applied for. I wanted to become a nurse. I
Wow.
applied for nursing, and ABU gave me geography. I wrote JAM twice after then, but okay, I think my destiny has been on geography, and I won't lie, it's been beautiful. Climatology, meteorology, geomorphology, and all of that aspects of geography has just been beautiful.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Okay, Nigerian University. They keep doing that all the time. Nursing and geography. Come on. Is there a correlation? Okay. All right. But really, I feel like, all along it all makes sense at the end of the day because it seems geography really was meant for you, or let me say you are meant for geography because it's obvious you photography is where your heart is, and you're clearly drawn to the environment and nature. And I feel like geography actually it focus on quite a lot of things, around the world, the health, nature, and the environment around us. So tell me, what first drew you to photography, and what keeps bringing you back to that craft?
Well, I wouldn't say there's anything that first drew me to photography. I would rather say I was born into photography. So I was
Oh.
born into a family of media people. My dad ran a studio. When I was born, I met my dad running a studio. And as a
Hmm.
father's daughter, I always accompanied him to the studio. He would set up
Oh.
the camera and just leave for me to record while he's behind the camera, while he's in front of the camera and behind the camera and all of that. But the first big leap was at age 12.
Hmm.
Somebody reached out to my dad that she needed a female videographer for her naming
Hmm.
ceremony. She wanted a female, she was specific on that. And surprisingly, my dad said he couldn't find anybody. Like he searched, and all of those he could reach out to were male. And he
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, man, you can do this." So he gave me the
Hmm.
camera, showed me what to do, and told me it's a naming ceremony. It's just going to be in the house. I should just go and see what I can do of it. And I went. I won't lie, I was scared. I fidgeted. I almost ran back. But okay, I got
Hmm.
calm. I called him. I told him, okay, this is the situation over here. He told me what to do, and then boom, I took pictures. I made
Hmm.
videos, and that was my first paid job. I think she paid about 30,000 naira then. And since I was 12, I got back. I showed it to my dad, and he was impressed. And that was how he gifted me that particular camera I used for my first job. So I got my first actual digital camera at age 12, and the journey continued from there.
Wow, really? Safe to say you were born into a photography family, just like you said. So it's
Yeah,
more like a family thing, right? It's. I could even call it a family business or family, skill, literally. And I think the
yeah,
most intriguing thing about what you shared about you being born into photography is the fact that your father gave you that opportunity at the age of
yeah,
12. Haima,
yeah,
you can do this. That says a lot about your father, because I would say he actually inspired you. He showed you that this is something that is possible. You can actually do this. You have what it takes to actually get this done, and that opened the door for what you've been doing from then up to this very moment. Wow. I must say, kudos to your dad, kudos to your
thank
father for
you.
actually
Thank you.
encouraging you from a very young age, and not just encouraging you, giving you the resource, the equipment that you actually need in order to flourish as a creative, a storyteller, a
Mhm.
photographer from a very young age. Okay, you won the Wiki Loves Africa Narrative Video Prize 2024, while still new to the Wikimedia movement, where
Mhm.
most people would still be learning the ropes. You hit the ground running, and within months, you made it, clear you weren't here to play around. You meant business. So, what really motivated you to enter the contest, and what gave you the confidence that you stand a chance to win a category no woman, at least until we get a data that says, a woman in Africa has already won that before you did, has won before now. And what was the moment like, when you realized your work was actually being seen and recognized on an international stage?
Well, I won't, the whole story of how I got into Wikimedia is another story. But it
Mm,
wasn't like I think when you mentioned the parts of geography and
mm,
getting nursing, I was a
yeah.
geographer and some people reached out. A classmate of mine sent a link to the group and it had something to do with Wikimedia, Africans and all. And okay, we had a course in 200 level and it was Geography of Africa Development. And I was like, okay, Africa development. I think what's the link? Then I came across that and I saw Africa on it and I was like, okay, let's go and hear what they want to say about Africa. I went there and okay, that was how I became a part of Wikimedia. What dragged me to Wiki Loves Africa 2024 was the theme, Africa Creates. It
Mm,
was the moment I saw the theme,
mm,
Africa Creates, the definition I got was a different definition. I just felt it was
mm,
like, Iman, what do Africans do? We as
mm.
Nigerians we're used to hearing this, okay, African Nigerians, our youths are lazy, our youths are lazy. But okay,
Yeah,
if we look at the other side, our creativity is on a high. It's just that
yeah.
they don't appreciate our works. They don't appreciate the works of our hands. So the moment I saw the theme Africa Create, even though I was on campus, I had exams. I don't know what's with me and Wiki Loves Africa, and always coming whenever I had exams. And I saw that, okay, this is an avenue for me to show the creativity of Africans. I was in
Mm,
Zaria, I was in school, and I
mm,
reached out to a few friends of mine. I remember some of my classmates in industrial design, because as a creative too, you would also come across other creatives. I could recall some of my friends in industrial designs, maybe making artworks, making tie and dyes, and all of that. those that paint. There's a friend of mine that paints, and I
Hmm.
was like, you did this with your hand. So when I sat down and thought about the theme, I could just remember all of them. But then their
Hmm.
works are not being appreciated. And I was like, okay, this is an avenue, Iman. Let's tell their story. I want
Story.
people to
Huh.
actually hear to see what they do. It's confined. Their story is just confined to just Zaria or just the campus. And that was what
Hmm.
birthed it. I met them. They were also writing exams. I think one of the tie and dye work was actually their exam project work. And I was like,
Wow.
these things are not supposed to be kept in the library. They just create them
Hmm.
and then they keep them in the library. They're supposed to
Hmm.
be on display. It's supposed to be a museum that calls
Hmm.
people so they can see the work of Africans. And that was what birthed it. I went
Well,
out. Okay, we walked, we recorded them while they were working, and it was beautiful. I saw how they wove sweaters. I saw how they wove ashoiki and all of that, tie and dye.
hmm.
It was beautiful, and that was that for Africa Creates.
Wow, I feel like I really love the perspective and your attitude towards the team for 2024, which is Africa Create. Okay, now let's come again. You won the Wiki Loves Africa Narrative Video Prize again in 2025. And I think I still remember the team for this year, which is from Farm to Plate, winning in 2024. Then 2025 came again. You won. What was the process of producing the narrative video for the Wiki Loves Africa 2025? What was it like? Walk us through your creative process from idea to finished work. Did you plan everything or leave room for surprise? And did you feel any pressure to keep up with your record?
Okay, so 2025 was tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Having won
Hmm.
2024, I I saw the need to actually to do better. That was just it for me. I was like, okay, we've gotten to this. Okay, what's the next step? Let's get higher. So when the poll was released to select a theme for 2025, I saw
Hmm.
all the things, but contemplate dragged my attention, and I was so glad it was chosen. So in
Hmm.
2024 5, at around March, it
Hmm.
was time to do the video, and beautifully, should I call it beautifully? I was pregnant at that time. I'm married actually. So I was
Oh my
pregnant.
goodness!
So I was pregnant at that time, and it was beginning to look like I was pregnant. I had exams, I had school, I had
Hmm.
projects. So it was beginning to look like a lot. And I was already thinking, but the moment it came out, I'm very thankful for my family. I don't know what I did to actually have this kind of family, but it's beautiful when I could just call my dad, call my mom, call my husband, and I'll be like, okay, so there is this, and this is what I'm thinking, and then they are ready to listen to everything I have to say. So the moment we got farm to plate, I reached out to my dad and I told him, okay, so the theme is farm to plate. So tell me what you're thinking when you hear the word farm to
Hmm.
plate. And he was like, okay, farm this and that. And he just gave out his own and he said I should go and think about it. I thought about it. I told my husband too. We all thought about it and I came back and I was like, okay, we normally do this. The theme was actually, I made two videos actually. The first was to Ocean Kappa. It was from corn to more like
Hmm.
semolita, yeah, the corn flour. And the second one was from beans to akara. So I just
Oh.
read it to him and I was like, okay, these are like things that people eat on a daily basis, and then nobody's actually appreciating the hands of the invisible hand that
Hmm.
comes before the final plate. So let's take
Hmm.
it from the invisible hands, which starts from the farmers, then to those that process it, and then finally to the mothers in the kitchen before it finally
Hmm.
becomes that plate. So that was just the whole thought, and we're like, okay. But sadly, it wasn't planting season, and we
Hmm.
needed to get some visuals from the farm because it said farm. So you actually
Hmm.
needed a farm, and everywhere was dry at that time. And I
Hmm.
was confused. Okay, how am I supposed to get a farm? Am I supposed to start planting? The idea was even to get a small bean. I think in primary school, they gave us this assignment to plant a bean in a can and then bring it to school. I think it was on growth, yeah, basic science or that. So the whole idea was to have that, to replicate a bean growing till it becomes a stalk and then it's budding and all of that. But it wasn't possible at that time. Like there was no time. I think for me, it's not like the whole contest didn't give us time. So I just okay, what could we do? Then the whole thing on being a creative and my if there's anything, I was coming back from work yesterday and I just saw something and I was like, okay, where's my phone? And immediately I took a picture. So beautifully, as a photographer, as a creative, there's never a time that something just comes to me and I don't just pick it. I stumbled upon some of my archives, and then beautifully, I was able to get a picture of a farm, videos of a farm. I think I
Wow.
walked through to Nasarawa and all, and then I was just filming. At those points, I wasn't filming for farm to plate. I was just filming. So it's just for me, it's what I do. So if it's what you do, there's never a time you don't see an opportunity to just record. There's never a time you don't see an opportunity to just shine. So at that time, I was just taking that video and then I placed the video. I showed them. I was like, okay, this was what I was able to get. And my husband was like, yes, seems I can just feel in everything. But I won't lie to you, the whole thing of getting the script, you would actually get the clips, but to get the script was another thing. I didn't know how to, I was confused on how to fill in everything. But okay, I sat down, I was trying to remember, okay, this is how you do this is how you do that. And then I was able to actually get the script. I was not filling it. It was more like a puzzle. So I was filling in those spaces till we got the clear picture. It wasn't like the picture was even perfectly clear because I it had to go through. I knew it had to go through the juries there, but for me, it had to go through the juries of my husband. It had to go through the jury of my father. Had to go through the jury of my friends. I had to voice about. I couldn't count the amount of times I had to voice because I would send them to my younger sister and she'd be like, "No, the energy in your voice is not giving." I'll send them again and she said, "No, your voice is you're toning down your voice. Your voice shouldn't be toned down." And I had to redo them. So on my own part, there were lots of corrections, and I was open to those corrections. I was open to hearing what people had to say about the video before the video even went out, before even submitting it. And then thankfully, I was able to finish up in time, and I made the submission. So I think that's just how everything went.
Wow, really amazing, Sally. You were pregnant at the time of the Wiki Loves Africa Content 2025. And then also you
Yeah.
had your examinations, going on at that time, but you really put through regardless of, everything you had ongoing at that particular time. And it speaks so well about the power of a woman. When you set your mind on something, you go all the way regardless of the hurdles on the way, right? Regardless of the challenges. And I must say, having a supportive family does play a role in your success because you kept mentioning your husband, your father, who really taught you. He held your hand as a creative from a young age, and he's still holding your hand right now. I want to take you back to when you won the
Mhm.
Wiki Loves African Narrative Video Prize 2024. I
Mhm.
remembered I was in a group where someone casually, made a remark. Even Eleha can do it. You too can. For context, because of our audience who are not from Nigeria, Eleha refers to a niqab wearing woman, someone who wears a niqab, just like Sally here. And then almost immediately on that same platform, on that same group, on that same day, someone corrected the statement and the person deleted it. Now, what struck me was how such a casual comment revealed something much deeper in the way society is often quick to stereotypes individuals, especially women, based on how they dress, the color of their skin, or simply how they appear. So, Sally, have you ever, faced stereotyping or find yourself in a situation where your skills and creativity is questioned or doubted because you wear the niqab? If so, how do you handle those situations and what strategies do you use to correct that?
Okay. Well, I'd like to pinpoint a very recent one. It happened
Hmm.
in school. I won't say, okay, well, Zaria, like I school in Zaria in the north, where,
Hmm.
okay, those of us that are veiled, the percentage of those veiled in Zaria can actually be termed maybe 30. So we
Hmm.
actually have a higher percentage there than in Abuja here or any other place. I think here the north
Hmm.
has more veiled women than other
Hmm.
places, but even in the north, we still have issues. I wouldn't. We should have okay issues like that we have to face some things and okay some battles we still have to face. But I'd like to pinpoint a recent one that occurred. A state governor's wife visited our school for a women entrepreneurship program, and I went there. Okay, normally I was like, okay, what's going to happen? I wanted to see what the program was about, and I went okay with the phone, my camera, and all. Let's take pictures. Let's tell the story of what is here. And then I found out she was an alumni of the school. So I thought, okay, she has a story she wants to tell. So let's go and cover the story. I went and okay, started took pictures and all. And so one thing for me that has always stood out is I think my niqab has always stood out for me. So the moment
Hmm.
anybody sees if there is any event on campus and anybody sees someone like this, they automatically know it's me. So I got there
Hmm.
and it was an event I wasn't invited to. It was just an open event. It was for everybody. So it wasn't like I was the main videographer or the main photographer at that event. It was just a personal interest and I just wanted to go. So I got there and she arrived. I was taking pictures and videos from a distance, but I needed to take close shots. So I got closer
Hmm.
and some of our guards came and they were trying to pull me away. I didn't understand at first. I picked another angle and then I was trying to go close and they pushed me away till one of them came close and was like, I'm covered. And I was
Wow.
confused. Like for the fact that I'm covered, I actually have to take my distance or any of those. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Like I'm not the main videographer or the photographer. But believe you me, a lady was getting married in Abuja and her mother specifically asked for a female videographer. And I went. And the moment she saw me covered, I don't know, she said that she felt relieved. Like I was surprised.
Wow.
She was like, she knows that whatever I was going to take and how I was going to post them, we're going to be decent. That's for her. So when somebody
Hmm.
feels relieved,
Hmm.
another person feels threatened because I'm veiled, and other instances that have
Hmm.
occurred too, but feel like okay, it's still a battle. We're trying to, but I'm grateful that we still have people like me. And I know I haven't gotten to where I aim to get to, but I want them to not belittle us because of how we look, how we appear, or how we are dressed. But the fact that they get to see that okay, it's what do you want? You want my work? My appearance doesn't have to affect what I'm giving you. The fact that you can actually mark this as an excellent work, you shouldn't be bothered about where it's coming from or who is giving that work. You trust me. You trust me that I'm going to give you the best. So just relax and then watch the best. I think the only thing I'll just try to say is for the world to give us a chance. For those of us that they've given a chance, we've not fallen their hands. And I want us to believe that other people, it's just
Hmm.
sad that even people that are not veiled, people that are veiled and all of that, we still have bad eggs among everybody. So it's not because we're veiled that means we're the bad eggs, or the fact
Hmm.
that somebody is not veiled that means the person is a good person, somebody that's veiled or all of that. But it's just the thing about just giving us a chance. So just give us a chance and watch how we are going to fly. And I'm actually glad Wiki Loves Africa is opened. Like it has given room to a lot of people. And for
Hmm.
me, it's impressive. They've given me a voice to speak and then they've made me more confident where I have felt like, okay, no, I'm
Hmm.
actually not supposed to get to this extent. So it has given me that, okay, no, there's actually a voice, there's actually a world waiting to hear your voice. So it's just for you to just
Hmm.
speak and they would listen.
Wow. Honestly, even women who are not veiled, experience all forms of stereotyping in the
Mm,
society. Sometimes because of the color of our skin, sometimes because of the way we speak, sometimes because of the country, the nation, the region we come from. But I'm actually grateful and I'm happy because of how you've been able to actually, relate with all of those experiences. You didn't allow it to actually pull you down. You didn't allow it to discourage you. And just like you've said, I'm sure everyone can listen, the whole world can listen. Give us a chance. Give women who wear the veil a chance, right? Being veiled doesn't mean you are the bad help. Being veiled doesn't mean you are less of a creative or less
mm.
skilled or less capable or less professional. It doesn't mean that. All right. Having said that, what practical advice or tips would you actually give to other female photographers or creators across Africa who might want to enter an international competition like Wiki Loves Africa to show their creativity, right? Either Wiki Loves Africa or even a contest outside of the Wikimedia movement. What practical advice or tips would you give to them?
Okay, I think the very first advice I would give is become a professional. Be good at what you do.
You
Be
do.
great at what you do. The
Mm,
fact when the moment you've gotten to a level, I think knowledge should be your weapon. So be knowledgeable, be great at what you do, and then give it all it takes. And
mm,
never get tired of showing up.
mm,
Never get tired of showing up. Because most times I tell my younger ones that most times when I see the word apply, I must have I must have applied till I get to the part that they ask for a requirement that I don't have. But most times
mm,
we are the ones holding ourselves back. The moment we
mm,
see something and I'll be like, okay, no, I don't think it's for people like me. You shouldn't be the
mm,
person holding yourself back. Take the first step forward till you're actually stopped or halted. That's when you can now stop. Even at that point, you can still try your possible best to still fly. So what I would
mm,
just give is just be the best at what you can. I'm still learning. Like I still have
mm,
courses I'm still taking. I'm not a professional yet. I'm
mm,
not getting to perfection, but I can
mm,
attain perfection. But I feel like if we learn, like for the women, for currently now, what I'm trying to do is okay, I've graduated and all. So it's trying to create a hub for female videographers, female creatives. Let's learn, let's understand, okay, what's keeping us back, what's holding us back. There are, let me not, there are other, and most times in Africa, we have less of those hubs. I think I would call them hubs. We have less
mm,
of those circles that actually, like Africa women, Wiki women now, it's a nice initiative that has started. And in time, I'm sure Africa Wiki women will be glad at what they can achieve. So if we have a hub like this that motivates women that okay, your voices are being heard. It starts from just a little Instagram video, TikTok video, and all of those videos that you make and just edit yourself. But you're actually meant for more. You can actually achieve more if you reach out to it. So the world is an
mm,
open space. Wiki is actually creating an open, like it's beautiful that there are lots of contests. I was even telling somebody, should I just keep to Wiki Loves Africa or should I just keep pursuing everyone I see? Because there's Wiki Loves Earth, there's Wiki Loves
yeah,
Folklore, there are a lot of them. So it's just
yeah,
okay, just pick what you want to say. And for me,
mm,
what I believe is everyone has a story. We're all birthed with a story in our mouth. So it's just for us to tell that story. So I've mentioned it before about telling the story, like let our voices be heard. So it starts with you. Give yourself that confidence that you can be heard. Give yourself that confidence that you're special. Give yourself that confidence that you actually have a say and you want to make a say, then start working towards it. And beautifully, the world is open. We have lots of mentors. We have lots of people you can reach out to. There is free knowledge everywhere. You can learn, you can make mistakes, and be ready to make mistakes. Be ready to hear no. Be ready to
mm,
hear, okay, like stop this and all of that. But they shouldn't keep you down. They shouldn't keep us down. Shouldn't keep me
Hmm.
down.
Hmm.
So we shouldn't stop our lights. We should still shine, still make researches, learn, relearn, and unlearn. And the world is our canvas.
Wow, really? The world is a canvas. The first statement you made that, be better, be good at what you do, right? Be a professional. And I think we always say that, even, people say that a lot. The fact that you're a woman, or, doesn't mean people will just offer you an opportunity just because
Mm,
you're a woman. The fact that we say that there is an underrepresentation of women in the world, an underrepresentation of African women, doesn't mean people will just offer you an opportunity, because that gap exists. You have to be good at what you do. You have to show that this is what I can bring to the table. You have to
mm,
you have to be so flat out that it is impossible for people to dismiss you because of what you can do, because of your ability, because of how skilled you are, because of the professionalism you bring into everything you do. And so, to our listeners, our audience all across Africa, you've heard from Sally. Be the best at what you do. Be a professional. Be good at what you do. Learn, unlearn, relearn, broaden your horizon. Be better. And yes, do not write yourself off at the get go. Do not see an opportunity and say, okay, I think I'm not qualified. Put your best foot forward. Click on the apply button, apply for the application. You never can tell if you would get selected. Thank you so much, Sally, for coming on board on the Africa Wiki Women Voices podcast. Such an amazing conversation. Shout out to Sally's father. Thank you very much,
thank
sir, for really
you.
supporting this wonderful woman that we now have within the Wikimedia movement, winning the Wiki Loves Africa, narrative video having now and then. 2026 is coming. Okay, we want
Yeah.
more women to really compete. We want to see more women. We really want to see more women competing in the Wiki Loves Africa, and also Wiki Loves Health. All of this photography, contests within the Wikimedia movement. We know our women are creative, and we really want to see us come out, just like Sally has said, come out, show up, keep showing up. We really want to see you guys, participating in this competition. All right, so our listeners, all across Africa, thank you so much for joining me today on this special episode. We call it the featured story. Really, thank you so much for listening to us. And I would do it, okay? Share it with your family. Share it with your friend, your enemy. Tell your neighbors, fellow Wikimedian, a non Wikimedian. That's the first featured story of the Africa Wiki Women Voices podcast is out. And you need to listen to it. Listen to Sally's story. Share it with your colleagues. Let them know the possibility that lies within them, regardless of where you come from, the region you come from, what your skin color looks like, or how you dress or how you appear. You can become all that you have envisioned to be. All right. I remain your friend and host, Olua Kalumi Tosin Aino. Till I see you in the next episode. Bye.